Hi, I'm Dr. Meg, and today I'm going to be talking about the pros and cons of hiring an independent college counselor. Now, full disclosure, I have done this work for many, many years. I have mixed feelings about it, and you cannot hire me hourly. I don't do that sort of thing anymore. So I'm simply here to educate families about the process. Today I'm going to be taking you through 4 cons and 4 pros of hiring an independent college counselor. Are you ready? Let's go. So I'll start with the cons. The independent college counseling industry came about in response to the increasing complexity of the college admissions process over the past decades. Now, it's called independent because it is independent of any educational institution, and it is a largely unregulated industry, which means it is unregulated. And that means the quality of the work and people doing this work can really vary, and it can be very hard to find someone who does good work. So the second con is that it can be really hard to find someone who fits well with your student. Now, some of these types, independent college counselors, are very stern, and they can be sort of brittle, and teenagers just don't really enjoy working with them, so they don't open up to them, and so it's sort of like they're working against themselves because the students aren't really writing good essays. Good essay writing requires some vulnerability, which requires some safety. Now, on the other hand, you can imagine a college counselor who's really nice and great with kids, and they're not so good at holding a deadline, or actually inspiring the teenager to get any work done. So the teenager comes home from a meeting, say, and they're having a great time and they feel really built up, and they're still not writing their essays. So finding someone who's a really good fit with your kid can be very challenging. Another big drawback, sometimes a prohibitive one for families, in hiring an independent college counselor is cost. Now, independent college counseling prices have gone way, way, way up over the past years. And that has really surprised me, but I think it's in response to the rising cost of tuition. So I think families are thinking, well, if we're going to spend $100,000 a year on college, we might as well spend $50,000 on getting our kid into college. And sometimes this can actually make sense. If a kid ends up with a scholarship, they make the money back, But I've seen a range of prices from $150 an hour to $1,600 an hour. And if the process can take 100 plus hours for a family that really wants a lot of support, you can do the math on that. It's extraordinary. The last con, and it's a big one, is the moral gray area of independent college counseling. This is really hard. Obviously, families who can afford to bring in a lot of support are going to have a better experience, and their kids are going to have better outcomes in admissions. So the process really favors affluent families. The other part is the actual work that an independent college counselor can do can veer into very unethical work. We saw the big scandal in 2019, but there are smaller scandals happening with counselors writing essays for students, things like that. So that's really something to consider as a family, is that it can feel not so great if you know that your student is doing better because you have more money to put towards the process. Now to the pros, because honestly, it has been such an honor and privilege to work with teenagers and families, supporting them at a time of real stress and crisis. And I've really loved it. So one of the pros of bringing in an independent college counselor is that we can help create structure for teenagers, and then that takes a lot of pressure off of the family. So independent college counselors, simply by setting a meeting every week, say starting in the spring, can help students sit down, get to work, really think about what they want, and then everything turns out better because of that. The second huge benefit of bringing in someone other than you as a parent is that it can really take the pressure off of the parent-student relationship. I have been brought into homes where everyone is about to explode with tension and rage, and I have served as a mediator between teenagers and their parents. Now, this is actually a really healthy stage in life where teenagers are starting to individuate, and the process of college admissions, I have seen it really put pressure on a family in a way that is not healthy. And so coming in and helping support a teenager and being a place where they can vent and talk through everything that's going on for them that's not their parents is allowing them to feel a little bit more independent. And then parents can talk to me about, what they really see as being the best options for their kid, and the kid will hear it from me, not from the parents. So taking pressure off of the parent-student relationship is one of the wildest, most effective, amazing things I've done for families. I never expected that in this work. Another big pro of bringing in an independent college counselor is probably pretty obvious, but the quality of applications really goes up. Now, it goes up in a way that you might expect, like the writing is better and things are clearer and there aren't typos. But the really deep work of independent college counseling, when it's done well, is helping a student figure out who they are and what they want. And that's the sort of foundational level help that an independent college counselor can bring in that can make all the difference. The last benefit of bringing in a really good independent college counselor into your family to help with this process is that the work I've done is really just seeing how amazing a family is. A lot of times there's a real loneliness in that. I talk to parents so much who are like, I think my kid is amazing, but I'm their parent and I'm biased. And I get to say, no, that's not biased. They really are amazing and you have done an amazing job. And it can just help create an era of celebration for the family as they're in this transition of empty nest. It can just be this deep affirmation of all the work they've done and all their dreams and everything they've poured into their kid. And it's really beautiful work. So that has been my 4 cons and 4 pros of hiring an independent college counselor for your family. If you found this video useful, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel where you'll get more content like this. And make sure to sign up for my free guide, my top 10 tips for massively reducing stress in the college admissions process. Thank you so much. I'm Dr. Meg. See you next week.